And we are live. We are live. What's going on, good people? You know who it is and what it be. This is Rob P. Pasker Real Estate, New Millennium Real Estate Services for the people. Coming at you live on the Community Solidarity Response Network's Black August Takeover. Let me know if you're in the building. We're going to talk about some good things today. This is the AMA. Ask Me Anything. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to get rolling. I know we got two people in the building. Do me a favor. If you're in the building, let me know that you are here. Because what it does for me is it gives me some energy. And that energy adds to the reciprocity, which makes this whole ordeal better. So what is an AMA? An AMA is Ask Me Anything. Why would you want to ask me something? I tell you what, I have a lot of knowledge. I got a lot of resources and a very large network, to the point where I am very efficient and effective at helping people reach their goals, specifically in regards to wealth building, real estate. So do me a favor, like I said, like, share, comment, let me know you're here. Share it. That's one of the best things you could do. That like button, let me know you're here. I give you a shout out. It's gonna be an ordeal. So like I said, my name is Rob Pasker, broker, owner of Pasker Real Estate. Me and my team of real estate agents, we help families and organizations build wealth through real estate. We help them acquire assets and we help them liquidate their assets. Shout out to Mike Hodge in the building. What's up, good sir? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So yes, I'm a real estate broker. I help people with their goals in regards to real estate. And why real estate? Because real estate is everywhere. Wherever you at, doesn't matter where you are in the world, you're sitting on some real estate that somebody got paid and somebody is getting paid to own. So I mean, real estate is at the foundation of all that we do. And what better business to build a business in than real estate? With real estate, I'm also a HUD certified housing counselor. And as a HUD certified housing counselor, I've been given authority by the Department of Housing and Urban Development to help families put themselves in positions to get mortgages. So what does that mean? What does that look like? Through my office, NID, Housing Counseling Agency, I facilitate a monthly home buyer education program, through which it's an 8-hour program that includes an orientation, a workshop, and a one-on-one. And through this program, I'm able to help families break down their financial situation and tell them exactly what they need to do to make this their last year renting. So, I mean, we break it down. We talk about the income. We look at budgeting strategies. We look at credit, how to build credit, what they can do for their unique situation. We look at debt, the debt pay down, or debt strategies, or what type of trade lines should one open. There's a lot to it. So much to it. But with that being said, if you're interested in housing counseling, here's the information here. We have a monthly home buyer education program. Hit the link in my bio. And with the link in my bio, I'll be able to get you enrolled into the program and get you together. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So with all that being said, I have a very special guest. The man that invited me onto this platform. We're going to bring him in here. My brother Washington. What's up, good sir?
Hi.
All right, what's up? What's
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
What's going on? It's the black. Loud and clear.
Loud and clear, man. What's the good word, my brother?
I don't know if my screen is freezing up where you are. It looks like it's a little bit choppy where I'm at.
Okay, I know it looks pretty smooth here.
Oh, it does? Okay.
It looks smooth
right.
from here.
All right, well, that's all good.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
listen,
Yeah, brother. I see you got you at the crib. You got the background. I see Markham and Malcolm in the back. I see Muhammad Ali, the Honorable.
Oh, do you see the Pasker? All right, you see the Pasker logo.
Oh, I didn't see the Pasker logo.
Let me move over. Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That P. What people don't see, what they don't know about that P is that it's also a number 1. Because we try to be the best at what we do and put our peoples in the best position. You feel me?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I just want to thank you for inviting me to share this platform. I've been around. I moved back to Toledo in 2014. And since I moved back, I've done nothing but witnessed, You know, the work that you all do in the community with CSRN, the impact that you've had in bringing attention to issues of injustice and equality in Northwest Ohio. And I've also been there to witness history. Have you've done things and had things happen here in Northwest Ohio that's never been done before, man. So I just want to give you all a big credit is necessary, and we need it. We need it.
Right, and the work it doesn't get done, by just one person. I started this journey of creating awareness in our community, back in 1991, and it just happened that with the advent of George Floyd, Mike Brown, Trayvon, and others, it caused ordinary people to stand up and rise up. And one of the things that happened in November of 2014, a few brothers and sisters got together and they were tired of having pastors, preachers, politicians speak truth to power, which a lot of them couldn't do. And the best that they could do, Rob, was to tell us to calm down, go home, and vote. Well, in 2014, Jabril Bay, Mike Leonardi, Kamasi Kush, Ebony Burks, and a few others, decided, hey, look, we need to form our own group, our own vibe, and make stuff happen. And they called me because I have a skill, and I believe I do, of being able to create an event out of whatever is in somebody's mind, and that's where CSRN started. And throughout the years, we picked up Julian Mack, um, Ruth Leonard, Jody Summers, L.J. Hamilton, Gina Fry. Man, I could go on and on. Rob Pasker, who has been, man, who has backed us and supported us so much. And I think that the way that we organize is is that we don't exclude anybody. You don't have to exclude anybody when it comes to speaking truth to power. And in the past, if you were male, Christian, and straight, those were the only people that people would speak up for, not women, and not children, not youth. And man, it just sent us through the same cycle of we get together, we raise some ruckus, and then we go home. All right. So I'm just glad to be able to organize with a group of young people and some people that are not so young to keep this thing going. And we've got a few things, lined up for Black August, and this was started in the in the '60s in the criminal justice, in the prison industrial complex. And the inmates decided that they were going to do something and not wait for anyone. So we just adopted the term Black August, and we practically apply it to us living on this side of the fence. And hey, here we are. And look, it was Ruth Leonard that came up with the idea of having like a Facebook takeover. And a year ago, or a couple of years ago, we would just invite some of our heroes and sheroes and make them administrators of our page. And whatever their gift is, if it's LGBTQ rights and awareness, if it's HIV awareness, if it's community gardens, if it's mental health awareness, man, if it's real estate and creating wealth, we wanted these Black voices who may not be able to have a voice, outside of their regular circle to come to our page, take it over, zero filter, talk about your skill set, make people aware that when we talk about uh, awareness and when we talk about injustice, it's just not holding up signs, and yelling at builders. Hey, we could take
Right.
it there,
Right.
but it's not just that. So once again, Rob, thank you for taking over our page and having people see what we do that wouldn't normally check in to CSRN. So thanks once
Absolutely.
again.
Well, hey, you got an ally in me. You got an ally, because the
Mhm.
work, it takes all of us. We all have our lane, we all have our strengths, and we all have our gifts and our passions, and it takes the collective to move the ship forward. So I'm here for it. I'm here for it. And, like I said, I got a lot of information for the people in regards to what we can do to build wealth because to me, um, it's twofold. We need change to come from the top down. So it's important that we hold our politicians, we hold our elected officials accountable. But at the same time, we need to put in the work as individuals and families to create an environment where we can create our own opportunities and take advantage of those opportunities. So I look forward to continuing and working with you all to bring it together.
All right, thank you, and man, let's keep it moving.
Hey, absolutely, absolutely. Well, I'm gonna get into this talking about building. First, we'll talk about what wealth is, and then I'm gonna go into some real estate, and we'll talk about some other items about what families and individuals can do to build wealth. So, brother, I appreciate you for bringing me onto the platform. I appreciate you for spending some time with me right here, and we're gonna get into it.
All right, thank you.
Hey, no doubt. Thank you. All right, all right, all right. Before we move on, let's go ahead and get it going. I mean, you know what time it is. Let's get it.
FYI Friday.
Tell me what you need. Real estate, condo, real estate, land, real estate, commercial, real estate, real estate, got it. Real estate, me, real estate, got it. You already know I got it. Pasker real estate, we rockin'. Young millennials, we poppin'. Tell them other folks to stop it. Tell me what you need. Real estate, condo, real estate, land, real estate, commercial, real estate, real estate, got it. Real estate, me, real estate, you already know I got it. Pasker real estate, we rockin'. Young millennials, we poppin'. Tell them other folks to stop it. Tell me what you need.
The man, the myth, the legend, Robbie P.
All right, all right, all right, all right. We back. Back like we never left. I'd like to thank Brother Washington Muhammad for coming through. And we're gonna get into it. Do me a favor. We got Anthony King in the building. We got some good people in the building. Hey, like, share, comment. Let me know you're in here. If you got any questions, you got anything to add to the discussion, shoot, leave a comment. There's a number down at the bottom. Hit the Skype. You want to come through? You want to chop it up one time? You want to add to the discussion? Hit that number that's going through the scroller at the bottom. So, like I said, I've had a wayward journey finding myself into the real estate industry. I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and that came from my family more so than anything. My father really instilled in me the value of being your own man, controlling your own economy, having a positive mindset. My mother, she has to this day her own company doing event planning and decor. And then my stepfather, though he was a mechanic, though he worked in General Mills for 30 plus years, he always poured into me and told me, like, Rob, you got the mind, you got the brains, you got the emotional intelligence, you need to go into business, you need to be a businessman. And that's something that has always been a part of me. I remember being in like 7th and 8th grade, knowing that I would be a business owner. Writing papers about careers, about being a business owner. And by the grace of God and, having mentors, having programs and people that pour into me, I found my way here. And in the real estate industry, it started as a way for me to raise capital for my businesses. But I found through real estate that I can help families build financial foundations through which they can live their dreams. They can send their children to the schools they want to send them to. They can start their businesses based off the equity in their properties. They're able to live more affordably because in most cases, it's cheaper to own a home than it is to rent. And it's just, the list goes on and on and on. And in the position that I am as a real estate broker and a housing counselor, I'm in a position where I can help people. And that's basically for me what it comes down to. I help my agents, my team of agents, I help them build businesses. I help them advance their careers in the real estate industry. The families that come to me to purchase property, I help them get ready for purchase. I help them become financially literate if they're not already financially literate. But I'll also put them onto different programs, different resources, different tools out there that will expedite their process of becoming mortgage ready. And then, for my sellers, the people who own property that liquidate the property, what I do with them is I help them get the most money that they can make in the fastest time possible with the least amount of hassle. I take all the emotions out the process for them, and I give them the facts. With all my clients, I give them the facts and make sure they have the best information, and then they're able to make decisions based off the facts. So I got a little PowerPoint. Let's try it. I don't know if it's going to work. We'll try it though, because it was getting on my nerves. But we'll try it. If not, bear with me up. Whoa, you see this? This is crazy. I'm not feeling that. I guess it's gonna have to work, y'all. We're gonna make it work anyway. So yeah, why really? So what we talk about building wealth. First of all, let's talk about what is wealth. To me, I describe wealth as the ability to fully experience life. Ultimately, for me, wealth is about abundance. Wealth is abundance. Wealth is having options. Wealth is being able to do what you want to do. Wealth is being able to live how you want to live. Some people describe wealth as how long, if I stop working today, how long will my money work for me? That can be described as wealth. Right? And so for most people, if that's the definition, if my expenses are $4,000 a month, how long is my money going to last if I stop working today? Here we go. Bingo. Persistence, people. Persistence pays off. That's what we do here. So, ultimately, we talk about, it's a lot going on as far as Black people are concerned on all different levels, In every aspect of life. I believe that, and it's not even a belief, it's the truth, that racism touches every aspect of life, from education to health to politics to entertainment, to housing, transportation. Race affects every aspect, but people can help themselves. They can help shield themselves from society if they have a certain amount of wealth. Now, that doesn't stop someone from discriminating against them because of the color of their skin, but, it does put them in a position where they have to go through less people to live the lives that they want to live, right? So, hold on, let's keep it moving. So, yeah, so real estate, and why is real estate so important? So, behind food and water here, this is a diagram of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So, behind food and water, the most important need is shelter. So you start with your physiological needs, right? So Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you start with the lower needs, and as you start to fulfill your lower needs, you're then in a position where you can focus on self-actualization, living within your purpose, and being the best self that you can be for the reason that you were put here on earth. But it starts with food, water, and shelter. And then we're talking about shelter. No matter where you are, like I said, there's real estate involved. You need a roof over your head. Your kids go to school, that's real estate. There's real estate involved in that. You got to get sick, there's real estate involved with that. You go worship, there's real estate involved with that. No matter what you do, there's real estate, and it's not going anywhere. Excuse me. When you look at the top investments in America right now, the top investment is real estate. If you take away the top 10% of wealthy Americans, over 60% of the wealth in America is invested in owner-occupied properties. It's one of the easiest ways to build wealth in America. You want to become a millionaire? First of all, a lot of people talk about becoming a millionaire. Being a millionaire isn't necessarily about liquid assets. It's not about how much money do I have access to. It's more so about your net worth. Being a millionaire on paper, meaning I have over $1 million worth of assets. One of the best ways and fastest ways to acquire that net worth is through real estate. But that's a whole nother level. When you start talking about other properties, let's just focus on what happens when you own your own property. For one, you get the tax advantages. You get appreciation because property value rises. You get principal reduction because every time you make a payment, you're going to knock off a piece of that loan. Every time you pay that principal, that's like a forced savings account. And then when you have a 30-year fixed mortgage, that principal and interest payment will never rise. Your insurance and taxes might, though. So as far as tax advantages are concerned, your tax advantages, outside of being a business owner, homeownership has some of the largest, most tax write-offs that you can claim, right? So we talk about property taxes. For those that are, that have a mortgage, you're paying your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Those taxes are going to be maybe a third of what your mortgage payment is. You can write your property taxes off on your taxes. So that's like a third off sale on your real estate forever. Okay, your mortgage interest, you can write that off. Mortgage insurance, you can write that off. Points, meaning if you pay extra to get your mortgage rate down, you can write that off. Home improvements, home equity loans, and if you do a 1031 exchange, say for instance you sell your home, you can avoid paying taxes on that sale if you were to transfer that profit into another property. That's called a 1031 exchange. A lot of investors use it to increase their profit by paying less taxes. But again, I'm not a CPA. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a CPA. But ask your lawyer, ask your CPA about the tax write-offs involved with home ownership. If you own a home, take advantage. Take advantage. That's free money. Appreciation. Property value rises. Here's the deal. God made so much land, and he only made so much land, and he's not making any more. At least that's not inhabitable. But he's making more people. So as the population rises, property value goes up. And that's what happens with real estate. Yes, every now and then prices will go down. We did have a crash back in 2008, but that was a once in a lifetime type of crash, kind of like the Great Depression. But historically, prices are continually rising, and even more so now than any other time before, because we have historically low levels of inventory, meaning we don't have enough houses for sale on the market. So it's all economics. Low supply and high demand equals faster transactions, higher prices, and frustrated buyers. So, hey, if you're in the building right now, let me know you here. Put a little house emoji. Put a house emoji into the chat. Let me know you in the building. Do me a favor, like, share, comment. If you got any questions, let me know. Let's keep it moving. Principal reduction. Every time you make a payment on your mortgage, you raise your equity that you have in the house. And what can you do with equity? Say you live in a house for 7 years, and every month you pay your mortgage. Okay, you pay $300 towards the principal of the home. So in 1 year, that's going to be $3,600 that you didn't pay towards your principal times 10. Let's say 10 times 10. That's $36,000 of equity that you have stacked up, and that doesn't include the appreciation that you have, the value from appreciation, because the price has risen on the house in 10 years. So for a lot of my clients, they'll live in a house for 7 years, and between them paying their mortgage and the property's price rising, they end up walking away with about $50,000, $60,000 after they bought a $60,000 house and turned around and sold it for $110,000. About 6 or 7 years later. That's what's happening right now to one of my clients. But with that equity, pay for an education, start a business, travel, finance other investments. That's a smart thing to do. Rent prices always go down. You ain't never heard of rent prices going down. They don't go down. Rent prices go up. But mortgage prices, for one, when you get a mortgage, they stay the same. But the cost of living, when it comes to mortgages, it's cheaper to own a mortgage. For my people in Northwest Ohio that's watching right now, if you were to own a home, let's say out Hill and Richards, which is the neighborhood I grew up in. You own a home out in Hill and Richards. Let's just say you got it for $110,000. Your mortgage might be $600, $650, right? If you were to rent that same house, you'd be paying closer to $900, $950 per month. So guess what? People say, okay, yeah, renting is less responsibility. You're paying for repairs whether you need them or not. And that's just the facts in regards to renting. So we could talk about net worth, homeownership and net worth. So recent data from the Federal Reserve says that the net worth of a homeowner is 40 times greater than that of a renter. That means that if you're renting right now and you got student loans or you have any debt, you probably got a negative net worth. Because like I told you, the majority of wealth in America is in owner-occupied properties. So we gotta, but why is this important? Why is this important? I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why it's important. I'm gonna tell you one of the reasons I'm so passionate. We'll talk about the state of housing in Black Toledo. We're gonna talk about some data, some statistics here. We talk about some things that we gotta address because we gotta shine light on these issues. Because if we don't, nothing's going to change. So let's just talk about the wealth of Americans based off of race. The white median net worth is $188. And this was maybe about a year ago. $188,000 versus $24,000 for the black median net worth. Run them numbers back. The white median net worth nationally is $188,000 versus $24,000, which is the black median net worth. I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, that's like, we broke. Black people around here broke. The Hispanic median net worth is $36,000. Right, so it's not just us. But when we look at homeownership by race, that's brother Washington, yes sir. That's a jarring difference, a jarring discrepancy. You know, and it's sad. But when we're talking about the majority of net worth coming from homeownership, let's look at homeownership by race, and these is from the last U.S. Census here in Toledo. Per the last U.S. Census, we look at the homeownership rate. 78% of white households were owner occupants, meaning that they own the properties that they lived in. Let me see here. Here we go. 74% of white households own their properties versus 36% of black households. That's a huge homeownership gap. 46% for Latinos. But that's a huge homeownership gap, which equates to an even larger wealth gap. Again, because if the majority of net worth comes from owning your home that you live in, if you don't own your home, you probably have a negative net worth. So 1 out of 3 black families own their properties versus 3 out of 4 white families. So that homeownership gap is going to equate to a wealth gap, which equates to an education gap, which equates to a opportunity gap. You know, this homeownership gap is one of the reasons that our communities are in the conditions that they're in. We can talk about loan originations. Black people apply for less loans and we get denied more than anybody else. Okay, so 32% of black mortgage applications got denied versus 19% of white. So there's a lot going on. What are the reasons for this gap? Outside of the lack of financial literacy, there's been some issues handed down by the government and just people in general. U.S. race relations history, redlining, deed restrictions. When we talk about the race relations of America, the first recorded slave in America came in 1619, but I tell you that black people were already here in North America before 1619. But for these purposes, we're talking about the government here. Okay, you look at how long we have been on record with the United States and the colonies. It wasn't until 1968 that the Fair Housing Act was enabled. And if you look at the numbers today, the black home ownership rate is actually lower now than what it was in 1968. That's a problem. We could talk about redlining. Redlining is the systematic denial of various services or goods by federal government agencies. And so what would happen is black people, you would go to a bank to get a mortgage for your home. And what the bank would do is literally draw red lines around certain neighborhoods. And these neighborhoods tend to be where black people live. As you can see on this map, this is a map of Toledo. The year, I can't tell you the year because I can't see it right now. But this is a map of Toledo that they used. And if you lived in one of these red neighborhoods, which are black neighborhoods, they wouldn't give loans. So what you would see is you may work at the same job as the man next to you. The man next to you might be a fair complexion, but he can go buy a house in his neighborhood, but you can't buy a house in this neighborhood. But then you also have the deed restrictions. It was a lot going on. So even we got the redlining, my grandfather worked for the railroad, right? He worked amongst black and white men. But the white men could go buy a house in the suburbs because at a certain point, the government, the Federal Housing Administration, was giving millions and millions of dollars to developers to develop the suburbs. But what they told these developers was that they had to put in deed restrictions where they couldn't sell these properties to black people. And so these people, white people, they bought these properties in these suburbs for dirt cheap. They might have been able to buy a house in Sylvania for about $30,000, $40,000. And today that house is worth $200,000, $300,000. And so the equity that was built, that's what families use to send their children to college, which increased earning potential. And it's snowballed while we were boxed out the game and we lost generations of wealth building opportunity. And so with that being said, we can't go back in history, but we can do what we can do right now. I'm a firm believer. I say the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And I know that in the position that I am, I can make a difference in my life, in my family's life, in my community's life. And that's what I focus on. I am a realtist. I'm a member of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, which was started in 1947 by 12 black real estate brokers from all over the country who came together to form an organization to advocate for civil rights in regards to housing in America. The purpose of NARAB is to enhance the economic improvement of its members, the community at large, and the minority communities in which we serve. We're an organization of all different types of disciplines that interact with the real estate industry. You have brokers, you have agents, you have insurance agents, contractors, you have electricians, plumbers, you have lawyers, you have title agents, you have inspectors, appraisers, you even have event planners. It's an organization of people that are passionate about building black wealth through real estate and advocating for democracy in housing. We have a local chapter here, the Greater Toledo Realtist Association, which was formed in 2019, where I got our founding members together. I went to the national convention and got our chapter chartered before the whole national organization. And the goals of the organization in Northwest Ohio is to increase that black home ownership rate, to close that gap some, to increase the black participation in the Northwest Ohio real estate industry, meaning we need more people of color in the industry because we need more representation. There's only 3 black real estate brokers in Northwest Ohio, and I am one of them. Okay, and when our population consists of about 27% of the population of the city, but you only got 3 black brokers, that representation is not there. And mind you, of course, I want all the business, but I want to see more of us in the industry, because if there's more of us in the industry, then we can educate more people and we can mobilize the black real estate market here. And then also the goal is to dismantle systemic impediments to black home ownership. There are some things being done, and not necessarily overtly, and maybe not even on purpose, but there are things being done, different policies and organizations that are actually hindering black progress in regards to housing. And so, as an organization, which we have 22 members here in Northwest Ohio, we're using our numbers to shine light on those issues and what we can do to change it for the people. through NARAB, we have 10 different affiliates, and one of those affiliates is NID's Housing Counseling Agency. NID Housing Counseling Agency is a Black-owned HUD-certified housing counseling agency. Through NID, I facilitate a monthly home buyer education program. It's free, and people that go through this program are able to get their certificates that make them eligible to receive any down payment assistance that they qualify for. I love doing it. For me, this is me being boots on the ground, working with individuals. You know, it's, we can talk and we can talk all day, but at the end of the day, you know, we need to put our boots to the ground. Let's break it down. Let's look at your income. Let's look at your budget. Let's look at how you spend your money. Let's look at your credit. Let's look at your debt. And with all that, I'm able to break it down to a science, give you action item plan as to what you need to do to make this your last year renting. It's free. I'm putting people on the resources. I'm putting them on, teaching them how to fix their own credit. Why pay somebody to fix your credit when you can do it yourself? You're paying somebody $150 a month to fix your credit. That's $150 that you could have paid off some collections with. Collections probably could have been gone. But that's what happens. You know, so I'm here for it. If you got real estate goals, hit the link in the bio. Hit the link in the bio if you got real estate goals. Yep. So let's bring it back. We bring it back here. Yes, indeed. So that's what it's about for me. You know, me and my team have been highly successful. You know, and that's, like I said, by the grace of God, but also that's just kudos to the community for supporting us in what we do. Very grateful for the community support, because without you all, there would be no me in what I do. And I just try to add value to those that trust me the most, and that's the way it works. I'm happy to say that, and I'll announce it here soon. But me and my team, we sold, between me and my team, meaning my agents, Patricia Ziegler, Dominique Allen, my mom, who is my transaction coordinator, my assistant Aaliyah. The five of us, we sold $5.5 million worth of real estate in Northwest Ohio this last year. $5.5 million of real estate transactions, and 90% of that was black wealth. 90% of that was black wealth. So, you know, nearly $5 million of black wealth, you know, being established here in Northwest Ohio. And that makes me happy. You know, those numbers right there. So, you know, I just wanted to come on here. If you got any questions, I'm here for it. Stay tuned. The Realtist, we got some good things going on. The Greater Toledo Realtist Association. We have a Realtist wind down coming soon. Stay tuned for that. I will make sure that all my good people get invites, because I need my people in the building just to come together to mingle, to talk about the mission of what we do, to see who's interested in joining the good fight. We got some great stuff going on. I serve at the local level as the local board president. I serve at the state level, the Ohio Realtist Association, as the third vice president. I serve at the national level as a director at large, where I serve as the Millennial Committee chairman. And I also, I'm a housing counselor with NID, one of our affiliates. And then I'm also the treasurer of another affiliate, the Young Realtist Division. And so I'm knee deep in this Realtist. I'm knee deep in the Realtist, and I'll tell you why. Because as a Realtist, for one, being a Realtist has catapulted my career. It's put me in contact and given me mentors that have already been where I wanted to, where I dream of going. They've already done things that I dream of doing. And so I'm able to interact. I'm able to learn. I'm able to just soak up the energy of these brilliant people. The networking, you know, seeing just top producers from all across the nation that look like me, that have a very similar heart. That does a lot. That does a lot for me. And then the access, just being a Realtist, you know, what we advocate for, what we fight for, it's gotten me into doors and offices that I otherwise wouldn't have got in on my own. So I'm grateful for the organization, and I'd like to extend that opportunity to the greater community. I'd like to get more people from Toledo to take advantage of these opportunities so that they can bring more back to the city, because the more of us that are here building, the more of us that are doing what we do, it's going to be better for everybody. It's going to be better for everybody. Shout out to Shar. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. So yeah, I could talk all day, but what I do want to talk about really quick before I do get up out of here, because nobody has questions. Cryptocurrency. If you're not hip to crypto, spend some time getting hip to it. Cryptocurrency presents the greatest opportunity for wealth creation in this generation. If you could imagine being privy and having the resources back when the internet was created, you know, what could you do if you had gotten in and invested in internet systems early? If you understood the internet systems and invested in them early, where would you be right now? What would your pockets look like? Probably be very, very, very wealthy, right? And that's what we are seeing here with cryptocurrency. What it's presenting and what it's creating is an opportunity where we as individuals do not have to rely on financial institutions for our finances, where we can become the bank. You know, I've effectively become a bank where I allow my money to be used in certain exchanges like a bank. You put your money into a bank account, right? The bank is going to give you maybe 0.2% interest, maybe, right? And what are they going to do with your money? They're going to go, for one, they're going to go buy property. The bank is going to go invest with your money, but they're also going to loan your money out. And so, hey, it's safe though, right? It's safe. But with cryptocurrency, what I do, I take that same money I will put into the bank, I will stake it with an exchange, with a decentralized exchange, and this decentralized exchange is going to pay me. In some senses, I got a certain coin right now, token, that's paying me 95% auto compounding, APY, right? And so quintessentially, I'm making passive income by staking my money into a real estate exchange. That's what's happening right now with cryptocurrency. Yeah, I mean, it's so much wealth creation being taking place. It's one of the highest appreciating assets in the world right now. Of course, you really want to know what you're doing. It's a lot. It's deep, and it gets deep and deep. It goes as deep as you want to dive down to that rabbit hole. But I will tell you, you can't go wrong with Bitcoin. You can't go wrong with Bitcoin. It's the oldest. It's expensive, but you don't need a whole Bitcoin. Just, you know, invest what you can invest. And I tell people, I advise people, don't invest until you have some savings, right? I tell you, you want to have at least 3 months of savings stacked up before you start investing. My counseling clients, I advise them, before you start investing, I know you want to invest, I know you want to jump in. First and foremost, stack up 1 month of living expenses. That's the best thing a person can do. Stack up 1 month of living expenses. Once you have 1 month of living expenses, start to pay down your debt. And when I say stack, do it systematically. Don't go broke trying to save money. Take 10% of your income, pay yourself first. And with that, you're going to create a wealth pool. And this 10% is going to be your stream. So that 10%, that wealth stream is going to be what you use to build wealth long term. If you consistently pay yourself 10% off the top. And that what you do first, the first pool is going to be stacking up 1 month of living expenses. All right, with that 10%, don't go broke doing it. Boom. All right, once you have 1 month, if all your bills amount to $2,500, stack up $2,500, and that's going to be your buffer in the case of unexpected expenses. You got some unexpected expenses. You got your known expenses, and you got your unexpected expenses that come up. Some people call them emergencies. If you were to have a month's worth of expenses stacked up, if something were to go wrong with your car, or if somebody were to get sick, or if something came up with court, in more cases than not, you'd be able to, you know, get through it without going broke, without, you know, overdrafting credit cards, without dipping into it, without going overdrafting credit cards, without overdrafting your bank account. But anyways, stack up 1 month. Max out retirement benefit. If you got any retirement benefits, 401k, max that out, because that's free money. All right, so now with the rest of that 10%, you're going to pay down whatever debt you have. That's non-business and non-house debt. I would even say student loans. Don't even start paying those student loans unless you have to. But once you pay down all that extra debt that you have, boom, now you stack up 3 months. Because if you pay off debt and there's less that you have to pay monthly, it'd be easier to stack up that 3 months. But once you have that 3-month buffer stacked up, then you take that 10% and start to invest it in whatever vehicle is going to help you grow your money. And then it goes higher and higher. But like I said, that's something that I put my counseling clients through. And the most important, what I'm telling people right now is start to get in, put your money in some crypto. Don't go broke doing it. I think I need to have a boot camp. I need to have a camp. So Brother Washington said, what is the wealth boot camp? Now I have a real estate agent boot camp. I got a real estate agent boot camp. Okay. And with my real estate agent boot camp, I teach for 4 hours. I teach everything that a real estate agent needs to know to get a jump start in their career. I give them the scripts, the confidence. I tell them the tricks of the trade, tips and strategies to most efficiently and effectively serve the clientele. But I am considering doing just an overall, just education courses and involve these different topics, because there's not a lot of information out there regarding crypto, or there is, but it can be overwhelming. So, hey, if somebody's interested in learning more about any of these topics, hop in my inbox, and I will facilitate. I will create some curriculum, because I need a muse. I got all this information in me, and I need a muse to help me get it out and record it and duplicate it. So, yes indeed. But I appreciate you all for rocking with me. The time is now 10 o'clock on a Sunday. Yes indeed. It's been real. I appreciate you all for tuning in with me. Again, shout out to the Community Solidarity Response Network team. Keep up the good work. Keep the good fight going, because we need y'all. We need y'all. And just know that I'm here to support. I'm here to work hand in hand with y'all to help change the culture here, to shift some things here. Because I truly believe that Toledo is one of the greatest places to live. A lot of people talk down on Toledo, but I think people that talk down on Toledo are short-sighted, and they're not that creative. Because I chose to move back to Toledo because of the opportunities here. It's underwhelming, and time will tell, but I believe that Toledo is on the up and up, and we're going to start to see. We're already seeing so much investment taking place. The truth is, Toledo is investment mecca. I have investors from all over the world, all over the country, that are spending their money here in Northwest Ohio because they know the value. And with our strategic place here in America, we're a logistics capital. There's so much opportunity here. We have I-75, which goes from Canada to the tip of Florida. We have I-80, which goes from ocean to ocean, that intersects right here in Toledo, Northwest Ohio. The property value here, the cost of living, is one of the most affordable markets in America. When I tell my colleagues what you can get, what it costs to get a 3-bed, 2-bathroom home here in Northwest Ohio, they tell me they want to move. They want to move here. They talk about moving to Toledo. That's how good I make Toledo sound, because that's how good it actually is. I'm a firm believer. If you know what you're doing, you're assertive, you bring some skills that add value to your community, you can live like a king here in Northwest Ohio. And I think more people need to take advantage of the opportunities here to build it up and make this the best place that it can be for ourselves, for our children, and for our community as a whole. So that's what I'm here for. If you need to contact me, hit the link in the bio, inbox me. I'm here for it. And this show don't stop. We got some big things popping. Home buyer education program. Hit the link in the bio. Next one coming up is at the second Thursday, orientation second Thursday. So stay tuned for that. Realtist Wind Down, September 10th. Yeah, and I'll be right back at it. Go ahead and like that Rob Pasker page. I'm not gonna retire my personal page, but I gotta start posting to my business page because it's just more efficient for my business. So I appreciate you all for rocking with me. It's been real. Yeah, let's do it again sometime soon. All right. Peace.